That's trash.
Is this from one of those machines?
No, it's from like one of those 25-cent things, but you're supposed to chew it and it brushes your teeth.
Ew. Oh, because it's plastic and they're like little. Ew.
Yes, remember?
Yeah, I do kind of remember those. Genius ideas for 25 cents. Alright, so that's the first. Sit back with the topic.
This is the basement.
This is Amanda from LHL, and this is my sister Erin. We're going to declutter her basement. It's an unfinished basement for the most part, and we're hoping to drop the clutter by 30 to 50%. She doesn't believe it's possible. And we're using Dana K. White's method of the 5-step process called the no mess process. And we're going to designate the first 6 shelves as our keep shelves, which they're not assigned, but we're doing it that way. First 6 shelves is the only place that keep items can go, and we're doing trash, easy has a home. I don't think we're gonna find much of that here, but we'll see. Maybe we will. And then data declutter. So anything that you know you don't need, going in the donation, sell, or dispose special, or when trash is the first one, whatever. In the other 3 categories. And then Jeremy is not with us, her husband, so we have a pile for the things we think he would be willing to part with, and so all of that will move there, and then he'll review that afterwards. Ready to go? 8 hours of declutter! Yay! Alright, here's the tour of the beginning state. You can see there's much more beside the shelves than I was really aware of to start with. So it wound up being that our 30% was mostly finding ways to get to remove enough items to get these items up off the floor. So it wasn't as clear as I was hoping it would be to show the 30% improvement. I figured we would have 9 shelves and end up with 6 shelves. But that's not what you're going to end up seeing. Notice how packed these shelves are in the beginning. And some furniture items are shoved on the side wall. And this is simply because they had to move them out of the way for the sewer backing up. We'll start at the top and go down. Sorry. I had to relocate this one so it was somewhere else, I think.
Okay.
I did a little shuffle on you.
It's definitely a doom box.
Excellent. We want doom boxes, people.
Okay.
I mean, we want to get rid of doom boxes, people. So I'm going to cut in here and discuss what a doom box is for a minute. So Erin is a Cricut, which is an organizing style defined by Clutterbug. You can research that more at clutterbug.ca, I believe, but clutterbug.com will redirect you there too. So a Cricut is a micro organizer, and they like to have everything hidden away, and so normally she would choose to hide this stuff away and have a lot of detail once it's out of sight. But she has little kids, and Cricuts don't usually make doom boxes. However, you're trying to get it out of the way of a toddler, and you're going to make a doom box. So if she has a visitor coming over, or it was after a Christmas event, that kind of thing, and now her toddler can reach further, basically she ends up taking a box, shoving the whole pile of everything on the counter into the box, putting it in the basement, which is safe out of reach to deal with later. Because she's a perfectionist, she has a very clear idea of what she wants that end product to look like, how she thinks she's going to use the items that she's storing in these doom boxes. But they're just getting shoved, mixed together based on a timeline, simply because they're in an emergency. She needed to get the items out of the way. So it's understandable. People will do this when they're hosting holidays. They'll shove items off a table into a box or a laundry basket commonly and haul that off into another room and just set it aside. And then what happened in this basement is that over many years and even moves, these doom boxes got created and packed away and then moved from one house to the next to the next. So some of these doom boxes are very old, going back potentially even 10 years. Some of them had barely been touched. So we're going through these doom boxes, and since time has passed, it's a lot easier to pitch things. You don't use the same service anymore. You might find candy that's expired, and it's just, all over the place. So this is what we're doing. We're going through some doom boxes at this stage, and there were quite a few collected on this shelf, this first shelf in front of us that you can actually see on film. So we find a bunch of ridiculous things in there, it's just collected items that you don't know what to do with. So most of this gathers from indecision. Now we tried to do Dana's take it there now method, and I highly suggest you do this whenever you can. However, because her children were being watched by someone else, when she went upstairs to try to put some things away immediately, it actually really disturbed the kids.
Oh, I think.
What the hell's it from?
You don't
Steal it
remember?
from mom and dad? I don't remember.
No,
us
I
getting
don't
one.
remember why I don't know why I have this, but I save everything. But when we were the farm family of the year, we went to Washington D.C.
Yeah, but I don't remember all of us getting ribbons or anything.
I don't either. Did we have it when we went to the Capitol? When we were down there?
Possibly, but we'd have a picture of that, so. Trash? Or do you want me to give it back to mom?
I don't know. I don't know. This is where it's stupid. It's like, oh yeah, I have a memory attached to this, but
You still have the memory without
Yeah.
the ribbon.
without the stupid ribbon.
And it's definitely a stupid ribbon.
It is.
No offense, Fern Hero.
It is a stupid ribbon. Okay, go for it.
Alright. Alright, project fabric. Is there enough to do anything with?
Yes. There's like a quarter.
Okay, I think we're gonna run into some project stuff. Why don't you put it here? Because that's a project too. The Yogi's not, but.
Oh, that's what that is.
Okay, what is it?
This is a cover for a book. I didn't finish gluing. I gotta finish
Do
gluing.
you have any intention of finishing this project?
I can. I hate to see it not finished, but yeah. Look at all that work.
I have no idea how much work that is. But it looks like it's curving pretty bad.
It is, the glue. We'll see.
Do you see yourself doing it in the next 5 years?
I'm not so sure.
Because you do see yourself doing this basement in the next 5 years, right?
Yes.
Okay. We don't have too many projects like this.
July 8th. What is July
We'll
8th?
get to that when we get to it.
So you're seeing me push my sister here because I know her very well. I won't always push on clients, but it depends on their own expectations and how good they are at handling projects. My sister was a art degree major as an associate's, I believe, and then went on to get her bachelor's in graphic design. So she just has tons and tons of projects. On top of that, our mother was also very crafty in quilting, and her current job is at a quilting store. So current to this video, I'm gonna say. So she gains a lot of materials from projects from school as well as actual finished projects for her portfolio. And when things end up unfinished like this, they just collect in mini boxes spread throughout her house. So we work to get these together. We know she needs to work on her portfolio, putting that together and making it digital. And so this is something I wasn't going to push on until we come up with the whole collection. And hopefully most of them are getting together. She's got a lot of them. So then it's a matter of finish what it makes sense to finish for any particular job that she wants, and then to discard the ones that are no longer part of her life. So I think when she sees it all together, that's going to help. But we weren't there yet. We hadn't run into very many projects yet. So I'm also helping her go through papers. So again, this is a doom box still, but it has some sentimental papers mixed in. So she found newspapers and things stuffed in envelopes and had no obvious reason why she was collecting them. So I just encouraged her to get rid of them. And that's pretty much what we're doing here. But we are finding some sentimental items, such as this card. It was a school project that she wrote her dreams and goals on, as like a 5th grader.
Okay, this is just all manuals.
Let's go through it, make sure that
Okay.
you didn't dispose of anything yet.
This is
One of the principles of Dana K. White is always look. You think you know what's in the box, but often you don't. So she thinks this is all manuals, but it doesn't mean it's all manuals she needs, even if it is all manuals, which it mostly was. A lot of them were, send this in to get your warranty set up. Many items they had already sold. So here we are just paring down quickly what items they no longer have, what things are so simple that they don't even need a manual for. And we're just making some quick decisions. They're small papers, so it still takes a while. But we're making decisions going, is this an item we sold a long time ago? Is this an item that you just click a button to set it up? It just doesn't need a manual. Like to use a power drill. Do you really need a manual? I never have. So we're using that kind of logic to go through here and just break down essentially what is a duh declutter. You're going, oh yeah, I don't need that. Oh, the manual or the warranty sign up for the thing that I bought over 10 years ago, and the warranty was only worth 6 months, right? You get rid of it. So some of these things are stickers that they're never going to apply. Just all kinds of manuals in here. So her goal here really was to contain them all within this one box. So I pushed her to look. Let's go ahead and tackle this. So it was this whole box stuffed full, and then that bag on top of it, all of manuals. So here we ran into these cards that are supposed to be like extended warranties, and you get these a lot from Walmart typically. Like on a Black Friday event, you can go, I want an extended warranty for $5. So that's what they were, but nowhere on there could we figure out what they actually were warranting. So there was no receipt in them. We had no idea what year they were bought, but they likely weren't valid. The process of going through paper can be extremely time consuming, and I highly recommend you save it to the end. If this wasn't a big sticking point for my sister, I wouldn't have addressed it to start with. So usually we try to do the broad organizing first, big categories, get ourselves zoned, but then we would tackle a paper box kind of at the end. And it can be good homework for somebody to do, to go through their papers, because this is an easy assignment. She's not emotionally attached to it. You can tell that it's just logical. Do you have this product? Would you need a manual if you had this product still? And some of these, it's like, we want to sell it, and we think it needs to go with the manual. In reality, most people don't expect a manual. So unless it's a really complicated, or the manual contains key codes, or the downloadable link to the app or something like that they just couldn't get anywhere else, it's not usually worth hanging on to a manual just so you can sell something. So now she's putting it all back. And I think she was just sorting by size here. I'm not entirely sure. We try not to sort that, but she's now fitting it all back in. You really want to keep everything in the box unless you're making a final decision with it. You don't want to pull a paper stack out. But you'll see later in the next series when we actually handle more office type papers and mixed with sentimental papers, and that will be in the next series. So here she's going through the items that were in the plastic bag. So she had to pull those items out, and they're mostly those weird, awkward little manuals that you get with things. Some of them are advertisers, actually. So most of these end up in the trash. It's just in the moment, you get a little overwhelmed, not sure if you're going to need it. You just set up the product, and it's easy to go, oh, I'll just keep it for a little while. Well, because of the doom boxing and needing to get it off the table, it turned into a doom box, and then it got stored. So, you know, it wasn't stored super long in this particular case, but it could end up being there for 50 years. And this is how that happens, is just being overwhelmed in the moment and creating a doom box that's not easy to know what's in it. Even though this was on the stack of manuals, it's still, you know, it just looks like 100 little papers. So it's very intimidating to start digging through that kind of project. And we certainly spent a lot of time on paper. This box didn't go very slow, but the next one, in the next series, you'll see us go through the paper. So thanks for joining us.
That's trash.
Woohoo! Alright, so that's papers. Let's put it back on the top, I think. We're going to declutter her garage. Oops, basement. Don't know why garage popped in my head.